Hello, everybody. I want to do a brief overview of my little bots and where they are now. I've been working on them for a couple of years, off and on, and constantly changing and upgrading and kind of learning about things. So, having lots of fun with it. So, inside Unity for today, we'll look at the code a little bit later on. Here is the AI bot, and you will see it's a humanoid, and this is the game view of it. And the way they spawn in, they have random skin color, random fingernail color. They can have different types of hair, color of hair. They have different clothing options too, but since I've had to rebuild the Walker humanoid just recently, it's not incorporated just yet. But this is a modification of the Walker example that comes in the ML agents. Um, but unlike the other, this is a fully articulated humanoid. The example locks out several joint axes to limit the choices that their bot needed to make. As you can see, there are several ray views pointing out some blue, some red, and some green. The blues are for up in the sky, the red are straight ahead, and the green are down towards the ground. And those are considered its gaze. And also beyond, it's just those ray traces. It's got one ray trace that it can control. You can notice that it controls the directions of its eyeballs. So wherever that eyeball goes, it has a detailed view of things. It'll gather more information. That there is the game view. You can also see the hitbox. It's got 20 body parts and also a palm that is actually a solid. I was thinking about making it a trigger, but I'm going to leave it a solid. It's also for defensive purposes and stuff, so I think I want it different than a trigger, perhaps. So the bot has also a camera, but because I'm GPU bound at the moment, I don't incorporate it in its training. However, this is what the bot will see when I eventually turn the camera on. And you'll see inside the environment it's got a couple of other things for it to interact with: ball, crates, stick, the target itself. And starting from the top of the walker rebuild script, you'll see have added the ability for each hand to have a target also, because they will be interacting with things. Like I stated earlier, this is a two-team game with teammates, so they will be setting targets and needing to know what they touch and stuff like that. And beyond that, I have grip data because it can form grips with its hands on items and people. Yay! It can also control its grip strength. Vitality data. This keeps up with its life points, stamina points, how much hits it has done out, how many hits has come in, whether it be from walls, ground, their teammates, their opponents. Also tracks what has been hit and what has done damage outwardly. Also keeps a hold of data for the grapple attacks. Which hand did it grapple itself, teammate, opponent, and also how many times it used a weapon or an item, either thrown or kicked or held to do damage in the environment. Next is vision data. And like I was talking to you about earlier, we got gaze and we've got the more direct view. And it also has a camera, but like I said, it's turned off for right now. And you can see that it's gazing right now, the wall, the ground, and it doesn't see anything because it's probably looking up into the sky. But when it gazes certain things, the item, self, team, it'll know that it's gazing them, and then also it can tell when it sees things, and it will have a lot of detail in the view. It also has a memory manager as it takes damage and explores areas and touch things either by step or by other body parts. It sets into memory short term or long term things like where they saw something or where a piece of the map is, stuff like that. Because they will be able to recall those things in memory and be able to set targets from memory on things. And also, they'll know where and when they were hurt by who and stuff. So that might help them plan defensively or aggressively on the long term. It's got some perceptions for itself, and this is a pretty heavy one right here. This keeps up with all the velocities of its body parts, locations of its body parts relative to each other, and things like whether it's two-footed, one-footed, airborne, if it's upside down, if it's bending forward, if it's leaning forward. I consider a bend from the hips, a lean from the feet. So you can tell when it's standing or crouching, laying face up or face down, if it's sitting, what's it sitting on, if it has a weapon, if it has a defensive item. It knows about its location, and all these things have been normalized, meaning all the values were between 1 and 0, and that took a good deal of time to do. And its location is normalized on an automatic process that gathers all the map components and sets boundaries. And then that's how it does the normalized distances and such. It's got a little bubble space, so it knows who's in its personal space. And it's got a bunch of balance offsets, so it knows exactly how it's leaning, which way, how much. A bunch of step information and stuff. And that's about it for right now. Right now, it has trained to stand up by itself. And I am currently trying to get it to learn how to walk. I've done a little bit of a cheat, and I have set an impulse to its dominant foot, whichever side that would be, so it is forced to take one step. You see he's just standing there dancing right now. So these things usually take a good couple of days before they even start to get a reasonable grasp on things. So we'll see how long it takes for them to start walking, but I can't wait for them to start doing it. And I appreciate your attention for the moment. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope that some of the future things I get these little buddies to do will be enjoyable and humorous, exciting, captivating. I'm captivated by them. I like to watch them be goofy.